Hi, this is an on-screen keyboard I developed using Python. I've actually used Tkinter GUI library to generate the following buttons that you guys are looking at. And up there is a text box, but I think in Python it's called entry. So that's my text box there. I feel I've done the best I can to make it work exactly like an on-screen keyboard. That's a fact, but it's not too bad. So if you guys would like to see the codes, I'll now take you into the code and carry out one or two corrections while I talk you through the codes. In the first place, one of the corrections I like to make is, if you look at this inner or the text box, you can see the space. The text box hasn't fully filled up the screen. So I would now take you onto the system. Let me show you the codes. Let's go back to the code right there. That's the code. Let's put this where it was. Yeah, that's it. There. Okay, let me just take you straight into the code while I close this. Now you've seen how it works anyway, just like any other keyboard. Close that. Okay, right up here I've decided to comment it out import system because I don't really need it since I've imported Tkinter in. That's fine, so I can always delete import sys. That's cool. And here is the name of my application. It's called app, keyboard app. Okay, and that's the title right there. I've set both coordinates 0, 0, and a method or a function is right here declared for the keys, which is right there. So whatever, if I enter the text box there or the enter, it gets whatever value I enter in there. And this is for the space key. Sorry about that. Right here I have my buttons. You guys can see that those are my buttons. I still didn't find a way to get the uppercase button working, so if any of you out there can get that working, please let me know. I'll be very happy to have a copy of those of the codes. The next thing is, I decided to use a label here because I just want to create a space, and this is the easiest way I can just think of now. Here is my text box or entry, and as the width, as you can see, is 128. So if I run it, you will see what I'm talking about. That's what I get with a width of 128. But if I decide to go back there, let me just go in there and change the width to approximately 130. With 130 I get about almost the same. So let me just close this and find a way around this. Let's say 136. So with 136, let's see the width of 136. Okay, the problem is almost fixed. I have a full object in there, so I might have a couple of pixels just lying down there, which can be taken care of. Let's make it 138. save and run the system again. Okay, that's not too bad. So if I decide to say Onscreen keyboard, okay, space 1 2 3 and so on. See how it works. Okay, close that. I have a label here. I think I've told you guys about my label. Then the next thing I did was this is my text that span 15 columns. Let's assume I decide to change it to about 20 columns. Let's see what will happen. Run the program. 20 columns. Let's see what will happen. There's no harm in checking it out. Well, nothing much happened, so that looks okay. Alright, now here I've actually used the variable row equals 2 and variable column equals 0. For the button, in buttons, this is where I actually declare all my buttons. Alright, I'll show you one thing here. The text, those are the texts that will appear on the buttons because they've actually been declared here. Okay, for buttons, in button, that's it. So to be able to find the variable for each of those texts that I've written in there, and the width, that is the width for each of the buttons. That is the background color, which is white, and here is the font color. Okay, now when I click on each button, this is what happened. The background color changed to white, and that's the back color changed to white, and the font color changed to black. I've raised the button right here, okay, and I have padded it 4 by 4, and border is 4 as well. So let me just run this before I make 1 or 2 changes so that you guys will understand what I'm talking about. Okay, here is my button. Can you see that, guys? So that's 4 by 4. If I decide to change that to something else, let's change it to maybe, let's go for 8 by 8, and here is 8. Okay, that is for the space if it's not space. So let me just run that and see what will happen. Can you see that, guys? Can you see the difference? Okay, though each of the components work as expected, but you can obviously see the difference. Alright, so let me just return it back to 4 by 4. It's 4 4 4. Okay, this is the back color. Once I click on it, it's sort of like a rollover, and that's what happened. It changed to white and the font changed to black. So let me run it now. You will notice the 4 by 4 has changed. Okay, there we are, guys. You see the changes when I click on the buttons. That's what I'm talking about, the rollover. Okay, can you see the click effect? The button becomes white, the text becomes black. Supposing I just carry 1 or 2 modification there, maybe enter, let's say 9 right there. Oh, that's 8. Okay, that's fine. and maybe 99 here. Okay, let's run that and see what will happen. And you see that it's changed to yellow. Okay, so that is the whole idea of that very property. But because I haven't changed this, that of the space key, when I click on that, nothing happens, because this is if not space and this is if space. Okay, and that's all for the codes. So if you guys want any use for it, I'm gonna save it in my shared drive. You can always send me an email and I'll just send it over to you. But for now, have a good look at it. Let's move it up. Let me start up there. That's the code. Okay, so I'll move it down so that you see the final part of the codes. And that is it, guys. I will copy it, save it, and upload it into my shared drive, and then attach it to my description area of this very video. So if you have any use for it, just let me know. So let's just run this program one more time, guys. Well, just before I leave, if any of you out there have a solution to send keys, I'll be very happy if you can forward your solution to me. Okay, so that we can make this very program works with any of the application, either Notepad, Word, or any other application. So I'm just gonna call it a day right now. You guys have a nice one. Bye.